Danica Patrick, the former NASCAR star known for her fearless attitude both on and off the track, has once again ignited a heated debate with her outspoken views. This time, her remarks on high-profile figures, including Dr. Anthony Fauci, as well as her stance on cultural hot-button issues such as transgender athletes in women's sports, have placed her at the center of a growing firestorm. While her supporters praise her unapologetic stance, critics accuse her of fueling divisive rhetoric and using her platform to spread controversial opinions. This is far from the first time Patrick has drawn public scrutiny for her statements. Over the years, she has never shied away from weighing in on political and social issues, often taking positions that spark intense reactions. Just days ago, she criticized California's handling of the devastating wildfires, taking a direct jab at Governor Gavin Newsom, whom she mockingly referred to as Newcomb. Her remarks were met with a wave of backlash, with some calling her out for her lack of expertise on the matter, while others applauded her for holding government officials accountable. But Patrick's latest controversy stems from her vocal support of banning transgender athletes from competing in women's sports. Drawing from her own experience as a female athlete in a male-dominated sport, she argued that allowing biological males to compete against women creates an unfair playing field. This stance has drawn sharp criticism from LGBTQ+ activists, who accuse her of promoting exclusionary policies, while conservative supporters hail her as a defender of women's rights in sports. Adding fuel to the fire, Patrick recently made headlines after publicly endorsing former President Donald Trump on social media. In a now viral Instagram post, she backed Trump's decision to revoke the security detail of Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's leading infectious disease expert during the COVID-19 pandemic. Sharing a news article about Fauci losing his protection, Patrick captioned it with the bold statement, "Damn right." Fauci had originally been granted security detail in 2020 due to the numerous threats he received while serving as a top public health official. Trump, when addressing the decision, dismissed concerns, stating, "No, they all made a lot of money. They can hire their own security." Patrick's endorsement of this move has sparked an avalanche of reactions from both supporters and critics. Her loyal fanbase applauds her willingness to stand by her beliefs, arguing that she is unafraid to challenge mainstream narratives. Meanwhile, detractors accuse her of amplifying divisive rhetoric and siding with figures who have been widely criticized for their handling of major crises. Her political presence has only grown stronger in recent years, particularly as a vocal Trump supporter during the 2024 presidential election campaign. Last year, she made waves when she appeared on Jesse Watters' Primetime and announced that she would be casting her first ever vote for president in 2024, firmly stating that it would be for Trump. She described her decision as the vote of reason, expressing her belief that his leadership could make America greater than it's ever been. As the controversy surrounding her latest statements continues to intensify, one thing remains clear: Danica Patrick has no intention of backing down. Whether admired or criticized, she continues to use her platform to voice her beliefs, ensuring that her name stays at the center of heated political and cultural debates. Beyond her endorsement of Donald Trump, Danica Patrick has taken to social media to champion conservative policies, reinforcing her position as one of the most politically outspoken figures to emerge from the world of motorsports. Among her most contentious stances is her strong opposition to mask mandates and vaccine requirements during the COVID-19 pandemic. Patrick has repeatedly argued that such measures infringe on personal freedoms, questioning the credibility of public health officials and fueling further debate over government intervention and individual choice. As expected, her social media posts triggered widespread controversy, with critics accusing her of spreading misinformation and undermining public health efforts. Many argue that her comments contribute to the divisive rhetoric that has intensified political polarization in recent years. On the other hand, her supporters have rallied behind her, praising her unwavering commitment to conservative values and her alignment with Trump's policies. Patrick's criticism of Democratic leadership extends beyond pandemic policies. She has been an outspoken opponent of California Governor Gavin Newsom, taking to X, formerly Twitter, to condemn his administration's handling of the Los Angeles wildfires. In a series of posts, she criticized the state's response and called for Newsom's resignation. referring to him with the derogatory nickname Newsom. This is consistent with her broader political stance, as she continues to position herself as a vocal critic of progressive governance. Another issue where Patrick has drawn intense scrutiny is her opposition to transgender athletes competing in women's sports. Drawing from her own experience in a male-dominated sport, she argues that biological differences between men and women create an unfair advantage. Her stance aligns closely with Trump's campaign messaging, which has emphasized gender distinctions and fairness in sports. While her comments have been widely criticized by LGBTQ advocates, they have also garnered strong support from conservatives, who view her as a defender of women's sports. But Patrick's political activism isn't confined to social media. In recent years, she has attended several Trump rallies and spoken at conservative conferences, further cementing her influence within the movement. Her speeches often focus on themes of patriotism, self-reliance, and a belief in limited government intervention values that resonate deeply with her right-leaning audience. Her latest statements only add to her already controversial public persona, drawing both admiration and condemnation in equal measure. While her legacy in NASCAR has long been debated, some celebrate her as a trailblazer for women in racing, while others question her on-track achievements. Her impact on sports, marketing, and media remains undeniable. Now, as she continues to champion conservative causes, Patrick is making it clear that her influence extends far beyond the racetrack. Danica Patrick has successfully leveraged her fame beyond motorsports, transforming herself into a powerful brand in wellness, fitness, and lifestyle. However, her recent shift into political advocacy has added a new layer to her public image, one that is both influential and highly divisive. Patrick's willingness to engage in controversial political discourse has made her a significant figure in conservative circles, strengthening her connection with Trump's base while alienating some former sponsors and colleagues who prefer to keep politics separate from their public personas. Beyond politics, Patrick has built a successful business empire, authoring books and launching a thriving health and wellness brand. But her outspoken views on issues like vaccine mandates, transgender participation in sports, and government intervention have created friction within NASCAR and beyond. Once celebrated as a groundbreaking female driver, Patrick's political stance has reshaped public perception, sparking both admiration and backlash. Patrick's endorsement of Trump and vocal support for conservative policies have resonated with a segment of NASCAR's fan base that shares her views. Yet, NASCAR as a sport has long tried to balance patriotism with a broad, diverse audience. Her political activism has disrupted that balance, leading to divisions among fans, sponsors, and industry stakeholders. From a sponsorship perspective, Patrick's political shift presents both opportunities and challenges. Conservative-leaning brands may see her as an ideal ambassador, allowing them to tap into her influence within right-wing circles. On the other hand, mainstream and progressive brands that once partnered with her during her racing career may hesitate to align with her due to the risk of alienating a wider customer base. This mirrors a broader cultural shift in sports sponsorships, where athletes' political stances increasingly impact their marketability. Within NASCAR, Patrick's political views have distanced her from those who prefer to keep racing separate from ideological battles. While NASCAR has embraced patriotic themes, it has also made efforts to diversify its fan base and attract younger, more progressive audiences. Patrick's positions on vaccine mandates and transgender athletes stand in direct contrast to the sport's attempts to create a more inclusive environment, even among former teammates, competitors, and industry insiders. Her political pivot has sparked debate. Some argue that her activism overshadows her contributions to the sport, questioning whether she should focus more on inspiring young female drivers rather than engaging in divisive rhetoric. Others, however, respect her right to speak her mind, acknowledging that her influence now extends beyond motorsports into the larger cultural and political conversation. Patrick's transition from race car driver to political advocate could cement her as a leading conservative voice rather than a retired athlete. Whether this shift will enhance or diminish her standing within NASCAR remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: her outspoken nature ensures that she will remain a relevant, if controversial, public figure for years to come. whether she continues down the path of political activism or refocuses on business ventures. Danica Patrick has made it clear that she is not afraid to speak her mind, no matter the consequences.